go. And good evening, everyone. Welcome to another exciting Saturday night wine stream and another exciting episode of Drink with Rick. I'm Rick, and this is our 70th episode. Anniversary. I'm a little premature with that. This is our 70th episode of the live wine stream and what will soon be the 70th episode of our podcast. We know we repurposed this into a podcast. And the podcast goes out on Monday nights. If you're joining me for the first time, you can watch live right here on Facebook, on our Facebook page, Drink with Rick. You can also catch it on YouTube, Drink with Rick on YouTube, and on Twitch. We're live on Twitch. That's Drink with Rick 1, the number 1. And on Twitter. Twitter is at Drink with Rick. Of course, you can join us on the chats on any of those venues. And we are also live on our website at drinkwithrick.com. Now, we don't have the live chat going there, but you can click on the actual post for the page for the live stream, and you can comment in the comments section below, and I will get those comments and respond in kind. Also, the podcast goes out on Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. It's Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern at drinkwithrick.com. You can subscribe to the podcast at any time through Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, and your favorite Android device or iPhone, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Deezer, and by email. Put in your email and you'll get the latest episode of the podcast as soon as it drops on Monday nights. So that's at drinkwithrick.com on our subscribe page there. And of course, you can always contact me, Rick at SavoyaMedia.com. Anything you want to say, any comments, any feedback. You want to send me a free bottle of wine to review, a couple of bottles, that's fine. That's great. I will give it a fair review. Just tell me how things are going. Be happy to hear from you. That's Rick at SavoyaMedia.com. All right, well, tonight we are going to be opening a Cabernet, a classic Cabernet Sauvignon. And I don't know, this might be a little bit on the young side, but we'll find out. Apparently, it's supposed to be drinkable now. This is a 2019. It is a Jacob's Creek. This is a recommendation from one of our viewers from a few weeks back, Jacob's Creek. Now, he was recommending a couple of different wines from Jacob's Creek. I couldn't find some of the ones that I really wanted to try, but I got two bottles. One was a Shiraz, one was a Cab. And the Cab is and he was recommending the 2018. I couldn't find a 2018 in the Cab, but I have a 2019. We're going to try that one tonight. We're going to try the classic Shiraz on another evening. And of course, maybe based on how this is going, we'll see how it pairs. I have some food to pair it with, of course. Tonight I have to pair it with this. Let's see. I have here some New York steak that my wife prepared. That should go okay with a Cab. Should be fine with the Cab. We'll find out. And we have a selection of cheeses and, of course, some crackers to clear the palate with. And my wife made, you want to know what this is? I can get a closer shot of it later on, maybe, if I can. This is called puto. It's a Filipino rice cake, and this one has some blueberry on top. So I'm looking forward to trying that, and we'll see how that works. Should be very interesting. Anyway, so before we get started, let me check the chat. Anything going on in the chat? Kind of quiet. It's always quiet at the beginning. People start to saunter in later. But, saunter in anytime, stick around, tell me what you're drinking, tell me what you're not drinking, tell me what you'd like to be drinking, tell me what you'd like to see me drinking, and if I can find and afford a bottle of it, I'll try to drink it too. Let's see, Tom Antio's in the in the chat on Twitch. I wicked my words up there a little bit. Tom says, been waiting for this for years. Add me friend one has joined us in the chat. And he says 70th anniversary skull emoji. We're actually getting close to the 100th episode. We got 30 more to go, right, till we get 100 bottles of wine on the wall. And I don't know if I'm going to go into song on that one. We'll see. Anyway, So let's see what's going on YouTube. Right, let's see. Nothing. It's quiet on YouTube at the moment, and everything seems to be working fine tonight, which is doesn't happen every week. We usually have a glitch somewhere or another. Well, knock on wood. Right. We'll see. Well, hopefully it will. Not that I'm not superstitious. It's just funny. But well. Yeah, right. I don't even know if this is real wood, to be honest. I think it is. Anyway, so without any further ado, let's take a look at the wine tonight. What we're drinking here is a Jacob's Creek Cabernet Sauvignon. This is a 2019 vintage. And Jacob's Creek has been around since 1847, according to their label. This is an Australian wine. This is imported from Australia. I'm looking forward to it. I love a good Australian wine. I don't get to have them too often. We've reviewed one or two on the stream in the past. I'm looking forward to make this one another good wine to review. Hopefully it will be one. It came as a recommendation once again, so we'll see if it lives up to the hype from our viewer from down under. So we'll check that out. Anyway, here's some notations on it, and I'm going to show you the back end of this. This is the back label, and I will read the back label of this wine. Jacob's Creek Cabernet Sauvignon, our winemaking tradition dates back to 1847 when Johann Grant planted his first vineyard on the banks of Jacob's Creek, which is what the wine is named after. A full-bodied wine, rich in blackcurrant and plum fruit notes with smooth tannins. Enjoy with beef fillet or roast leg of lamb. And that's Daniel Swincer, the winemaker of Jacob's Creek. This is a product of Australia, produced by Jacob Creek Wines and Barossa Valley Way in Rowan Flat, South Australia. It's imported into the U.S., and it is 14 point. Now the label says 14.0% alcohol, 14% alcohol by volume in this 750 milliliter bottle. But as we all know, and as I mentioned so many times in the past, that that's not necessarily an accurate number. It's often quite higher. So we will see. Now I did some checking online. I looked around a little bit for some information on this wine. Vivino lists it, but not in this particular. It doesn't say if it's this particular vintage, 2019, but it has listed the wine for quite a while, and it does list the wine as $10 per bottle, and apparently they sell this one, or they have. But this is. They also say that. It is popular among Vivino users, and they give it a 3.3 rating. But once again, it doesn't really specifically state the vintage. And different vintages, well, as we all know, they can be quite different. And one year can be great, and the other year not so great. So we'll find out where this one falls. Let's see. I'm looking at Total Wine, the Total Wine site, TotalWine.com. They give it 4.4 stars, and they give it a price of $5.49, at least in my area, I guess. Actually, they say it's not really available in the Total Wine store in my area, but there is. Apparently, it is available in Raleigh. I'm not driving up to Raleigh for it, okay? It's not available in my area. I'll find it somewhere else. We picked this one up at our local Harris Teeter supermarket. So we did get a bottle, and I'll tell you what I paid for it in just a moment. I looked it up here, a place called Vinmonopolet, and that's in Norway, in Oslo, Norway. It's $13.35 a bottle. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to buy it from there either. I'm not going up to Norway to get a bottle of wine. But on the Jacob Creek's website, they do have some tasting notes. And it's supposed to have some dark cherry and plum with notes of mocha spice. And they say enjoy it with grilled steak, pizza, or tomato-based pasta dishes. You know what? We had some leftover pizza from last night. I should have asked my wife to bring up a slice of pizza and try it with that. But I meant to do that. I saw this earlier. I meant to do it, but I completely forgot. So we're just going to do it without the pizza, but we do have some cheeses, so we'll try it with that, right? See how it works. Supposedly it goes well with a Gruyere cheese, and I think we have one here. I think that's what we have here. Looks like it. So we will try it with that and see how it pairs. Anyway, so that is what I have on the wine, and I'll tell you, I paid $5.99 for this bottle of Jacob's Creek Cabernet Sauvignon. So it's seems to be about the median price for this bottle of wine. Anyway, getting back to the chat for just a moment before we open up this bottle. Anything kind of quiet in the chat? Let's see. Twitch is lively there. And how are you doing, Ed, my friend one? It's good to see you. It's good to see you tonight. And Tom Antio, he says, getting close. LOL. Yeah, we're getting close to the 100th episode of Drink with Rick. That's going to be exciting. I'm working on a very, very exciting 100th episode. Should be a nice celebratory episode. By the way, for those of you on Twitch, you can come on into the chat. I want to poll you here in a little bit and ask for some feedback, because there are some things I want to do with the channel, and some things I want to do to enhance, I guess, basically bring more content into the channel from Drink with Rick. And I have a couple of I have a couple of ideas I want to throw by you and see what everybody thinks and see how it will work out. Been thinking about this a bit, and I have to stitch this together somehow. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Let me see if I can get Twitch back. So we can get everything back. All right, folks. Sorry about that. It looks like we lost our feed, and I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Let me see if I can refresh some of this. We actually didn't lose the feed. My OBS system crashed right here on the computer. OBS just crashed on me. So I apologize for that, folks. I don't know what exactly caused that, but it happened. And I think we're back. Hopefully we're back. Looks like we're back in, let me see if I've got, yeah, we're back up. Okay. Well, I don't know what happened there, but I suddenly lost OBS. I use a program called OBS, or Open Broadcast Software, to stream the show live, to multi-stream it, and for some reason it just suddenly poof, just crashed on me on the computer, and I had to get it up. Took me a minute or two to get it back up and running. I apologize for that. Technical glitches. This is an older machine. That's the issue that I'm having right now. This is a much older machine that I'm doing the live stream from. I have some limitations with it, and it's not supposed to be doing this. This is actually the first time that it has crashed. It has crashed on me before in the some of the past streams before I started the stream, but this is the first time that it's actually crashed on me during the live stream. So that is very concerning. I'm going to have to build a new computer for this some point, or obtain a new computer here, but right now it's not really in the budget, so I'm sort of hobbling along with this one until I can to get a new one built. Of course, during this time, during the pandemic, we're budgets are tight, so and my wine budget's tight. Hence this $5.99 bottle of wine that certainly helps. But oh wow, so once again we're back up, and I'm probably gonna have to stitch or hobble this together. I don't know if it saved the original recording or not, so I may not have a full recording of the first part of this. I'll have to look at it later, and hopefully I've got it all intact. We shall see. Anyway, so where were we? Oh, yes, we were going to open and introduce the wine. Hopefully this will not crash on me again. I am a little bit worried. I'm a little concerned about that. Joanne says, joins in the chat. Thanks for joining me, Joe. She says, I really enjoy Australian wines. As do I, Joe. As do I. Please stick around. Hopefully we can all enjoy this one. Well, I'll be enjoying this here, but you can enjoy it virtually with me. And tell me what you're drinking, Joe. Tell me what you're having. And we're going to open this up now. This is the Cabernet, classic Cabernet. And I'm going, of course, I have to pour it in. I have my genuine Galway, genuine Irish crystal glass imported from Ireland, and that's courtesy of my employers at buy2wayradios.com. And of course, I have to pour it in. I have my trusty Veneto aerator from the Veneto Wine Lover set, and we're going to give this a pour, and we're going to probably make this a little bit of a short show tonight, as I've got to make sure that this doesn't crash on us again. So we'll see. Hopefully it won't. Yeah, it is on the back of my mind. Okay, we have the wine poured, and right away I get some aromas. Yes, very berry aromas, and not too surprising from some of the Australian wines. But we'll, and for a Cabernet especially, Cabernets are known for their strong berry and almost cherry-like aromas. So we will give this a shot. Before let me just check and make sure everything else is going okay on the chat. Everybody okay on Twitch? Everybody doing good there? Leo Messi 3030 has joined us in the chat. It says, "Is that a seagull on your chest?" Yes, this is a right here. Well, this is a you probably recognize the logo. That is Tom. You still in the chat? You still in the chat with me here? Say hi. This is from one of the chains here that I really like this. I really like this sweater, and they don't make these anymore, by the way. But it has been my signature sweater for the last, well, actually probably since the second episode from of the wine stream. Anyway, so while this is breathing a little bit, we're going to let me double check some of the other chats here real quick. Okay. Let's go ahead and give it a whiff. I'm going to swirl it around a little bit here in the glass. And yes, if my sister were here, if my sister Gina were here, she would say, "Does it have legs?" And well, I mean, yeah, it does somewhat. Not a lot. There's not a lot to it. This wine may be a little bit on the young side. We'll see. Of course, it's kind of hard to tell because this glass was washed and rinsed, and sometimes when you rinse these glasses in those in the dishwasher like that, you can't really, there's a layer of something on there that keeps the wine from forming legs or from forming tears on the glass. So this doesn't really tell you anything actually anymore. Anyway, let me give it a whiff. Definitely some cherry there. Cherry and some black fruits in there. Maybe some black cherry, or maybe blackberry. Some black currant, yeah. And let's give it a taste. Yep. Definitely some cherry and a couple of red fruits in there, I think. It's a little bit oaky, not much, just a little on the oaky side. Let me see. Ooh. Very berry. The fruits are strong in this one. I want to say there's some blackcurrant in there. That I want to say there's a hint of plum, but it goes away right away. It does have a decent finish to it. It goes down fairly well. There's a nice long finish. Now, as I've said so many times before, there's some wines who I've tasted that it doesn't have a really long or lingering finish. It goes down quick, and there's really not much of an aftertaste. And those are okay. Those are okay for certain situations and certain foods and things like that. But then there are other wines that you kind of want to have that long finish with, that you can enjoy, especially after dinner, but during the dinner, because it actually sometimes helps accentuate some of the foods. It is a fairly, it's a fairly full-bodied wine. It's a fairly full-bodied wine, and it is, I want to say it tastes a little on the bold side. It's rather bold. That's not atypical of a cab in general. That's fairly common to be kind of bold, and it does have tannins. It has it is fairly tannic. Yep, really dry, and fairly tannic. This is a very dry wine. Now it's not the driest wine I've ever had, obviously, but and cabs are, that's one of the reasons I like cabs and merlots, because they tend to be fairly dry. And I love dry wines. I'm not really much for the sweeter wines, which is why I don't drink a lot of the whites, the white wines. Although some of the drier white wines that we've had before, like Cabernet, the Sauvignon Blanc, and let's see what else we have here recently. That was a white wine. I don't even see it up there. It's up there somewhere. What was that? The Montcrevet. That was a rosé, actually, and that was actually a fairly decent rosé. Not really sweet too much, as I recall. It was lightly sweet, but it was very drinkable for me. I rather enjoyed that one, and I don't drink a lot of rosés, but I like that one. This one is definitely dry, and it is, like I said, it is tannic. And there is a fair amount of acidity to this wine. So, but it tastes. I think it tastes a little on the young side, and it's not too jammy. I don't think it's not really a jammy as far as fruit's concerned. It's not too fruit forward, but it is kind of a bold fruity wine. Anyway. Let's see. Check the chat here for just a moment. And Leo Messi 3030 says, "I love your pronunciation, so articulate." Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't always talk this well. Sometimes. No, I do love wordplay too. But sometimes it just wakes my merds up, and it turns out wrong. Yeah, I know it was intentional, but. Well, we're basically, I think most people say I have a southwestern accent. I've never really noticed it. Midwestern, they say Midwestern accent. And it could be, I don't know where I got that from, because I'm not from the Midwest. I am from Florida, so I am a southern boy. Let's see, what else do we have going on here in YouTube? Quiet on YouTube, and let me get back to Facebook because I know Joanne's there. Joe says a Saint Supery Cab. Am I reading that correctly, Joe? Saint Supery Cab. That sounds interesting. What is that like? I'm not familiar with that one. Do you know where I could maybe where it's available? Is it available like at a local? Where are we here? And right here we have Trader Joe's and some of the local supermarkets. I don't know if it's available in the supermarket. Joe says yes, it's pronounced Saint Supery Cab. I'll have to check that out. Maybe if you can send me a link to what the bottle looks like or something, I can check it out. And yeah, sure, you can put a link in there. That's fine, and I'll check it out. And if it's something that's reasonably priced for me to drink, I'll get a fair review on it. We'll see how it works. Joe says any grocery store in California, $30. Okay, $30 is. You know what? I think I might. Let me write that down. I'm gonna Saint Supery Cab because I love learning about new wines. Supery Cab. Is it pretty good? You're enjoying it? Is it a good cab? Let me see. Saint Supery Cab, $30, huh? I'll take a look. I'll see if I can swing something in my budget. Save up my pennies for it. See if I can get a bottle. Might be worth it for maybe the 100th anniversary episode. The 100th anniversary episode, I can spring for a $30 bottle of wine, and that should be that should be nice. That should be special, right? Anyway, so. we opened the wine, and like I said, it's kind of fruity, but very much on the cherry side, and I love cherry. We'll go ahead and try it with some foods. Let's pair it with some of the foods that we have here, and what we have to pair it with is get a close up on here. I have, and I think there's some pepper in here, but this is I think my wife she did this. It was a New York strip steak, or a New York, yeah, it was a New York strip, I think. And I think she cut this up in smaller strips and cooked it. And we had it for dinner. It was actually quite good. And a little on the peppery side, I think, but it's quite good. We'll try it with this. And very good steak. And grilled pretty much to perfection, I think. Let's try it with this. Oh, yeah, I like that. It really brings out the grilled flavor of the steak, and I don't know what she marinated in. If she's in the chat, if you're in the chat there, maybe you can tell me what you marinated. Well, you don't have to give away your secrets on your. I know she has a secret recipe for some of her marinades. I'll have to try one more of these. Actually, pretty decent. Which I was not surprised for a cab. For $5.99 cab, pretty decent. Pretty decent to pair with this. I have to chew my meat 30 times, right? That's what my mom always told me. I'm not counting. I like that. It's a good pairing. It's a good pairing right there. Now, with the cab, with this cab, I would say from the outset, $5.99. It's not. Actually, it's a pretty decent price. I think once again, I think the wine's a little on the young side. I think if you probably bought one and then held on to it for a couple months and then opened it, it's probably fine. I wouldn't wait too long to open it because I don't think these were meant to be stored away for very long periods of time. But if you want to drink within a couple of years. But I think it's probably okay. It's okay, drinkable right now. I can drink it, and I'm going to drink some more, as a matter of fact. Not bad. Let me clear the palate a little bit, and we'll try it with some of the cheeses. Like that. A lot of wines will go well with meats, and they don't have to be expensive wines. As a matter of fact, one of the things about wines is that a lot of the wines are really overpriced. But if you can find a good, well, there are several secrets, and we've talked about that on the wine stream many times past. I don't want to go too deep in the weeds with some of these right now, but you can get a pretty decent dinner party together with steak and with some red meats and things like that, or even poultry, lamb or something like that, with a $6, $8 bottle of wine. It's not the price so much of the wine that it is. It's what you like to drink. If you know a wine, or if you know a wine label that you like and you trust, and that's what you drink, it should be, as long as it's one that matches with the food, that pretty much with the food that you're serving, it should be fine. Should be fine, just fine. You don't have to go out, if you're having a fancy dinner party, and say, I have to go get a case of wine that's $50 a bottle for this dinner party to impress everybody. You definitely don't have to do that, and I suggest that you really don't, unless you have the money to really spend. But then I would say still don't overspend. The other thing about the wines that we talked about before is the fact that in a lot of these blends, now this one's from Australia, so I trust, and I don't know, it doesn't say if it's a 100% cab, and that's the other thing, is that there are a lot of cabs that are mixed, that they blend with other wines, and you can have an 80%, 85% cab mix with something else, and it can still be labeled as a cab, and you're not, as the winery, as the winemaker, you're not required, or as the bottler, you're not required to even mention them. It's mostly cab. It's a cab, and as a lot of bottlers, a lot of winemakers do that. So, and I'm not saying that this is the case here with this wine at all. Don't get me wrong. I don't know. I just simply don't know because the information isn't there. But it is just something to keep in mind. Also, there are a lot of wineries that when they are making all of this wine, that there will be some maybe some batches, some of the wine that they will sell to other vintners to resell, so they can put it into blends of wines, their own blends. And it is quite possible that you can get two bottles of the same of different wines, two different bottles from two different labels, two different vintners that actually contain the same wine, the same blend of wine from the same place. It does happen, and it's one of those little secrets about the industry that a lot of people don't know about, and that a lot of people aren't really supposed to know about, but that's really that's the realities of it. So let me go ahead and, did I clear the palate? Yes, I did. Let me go ahead and try it with the cheese. I think we're going to go with the, I think what I have here is the Gruyere. Let me check. I'm double checking. Let's try it. Oh yeah, not bad. It's not bad. Let me clear the palate again. We'll try it with a different cheese. I think this one is the triple cream. No, that's not the brie. It's we're out of smoked cheddar too. I can bring that up. I don't know what this one is. I think this one looks like. No, this is the Gruyere. That's why I couldn't really taste much in there. This is the Gruyere. Okay. Definitely a Gruyere. It works pretty well with the Gruyere, actually. It's Gruyere. I never could pronounce that very well. Sorry for my poor pronunciation on that. It's Gruyere, I think is the way the French pronounce it. Gruyere. Gruyere. I think it's how they pronounce it. Let me try it now. I know which one this is. This is the Trader Joe's Creamy Gouda. This is the double cream, I should say, Creamy Gouda from Trader Joe's. And I love this cheese. And so far we have never had a miss with this cheese. We'll see if this is a hit too. Oh yeah. I'm beginning to think that even if you have not a very good wine, let me show you what we're looking at here, because I think I've got a shot of it here somewhere, a picture of it. Even if you are not pretty sure I have it here somewhere. Where's my Creamy Gouda photo here? Let's see. Can I find it? It's somewhere. I had it. I saw it a little while ago. There it is. There we are. This is the Trader Joe's double cream Gouda cheese. The old Trader Joe's. Now let me tell you something about the cheese. I love this cheese. We first, my wife, she bought one of these not too long after we started doing the wine stream. Maybe it was about 6 or 7 months after we started doing it, and she started putting it onto the platter. And I just fell in love with this cheese. Just amazing, because we have tried it with so many different wines, and it has never failed me on a wine. And even some of the wines that I didn't particularly care for too much, some of the wines that were not that great, it actually tasted better. The wine actually tasted better with the cheese. And I was thinking, that's pretty cool that this cheese can actually do that for a wine. So if you ever get a chance to go down to Trader Joe's, if you have one in your area, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. That's the Trader Joe's double cream Gouda cheese. Now, I'm not making any money selling cheese, okay? Trust me. It's just a cheese I happen to love. And I think it goes very well with, so far it's gone well with any wine. So if you have a concern about maybe, throwing together a dinner party or something, or if you just want to have something to impress a date or something like that, and you're doing a wine and cheese kind of thing, and you're concerned about those pairings, and you're concerned about the type of wine, whether or not it's just the right wine to serve with whatever you've got, get this cheese. And even if the wine turns out to be not that great, well, as long as it's not corked or something, but it is, even if the wine turns out not to be the best wine, it should still go pretty well with that cheese. Because that cheese, I think, this is a case where I think the cheese makes the wine. And I'm really impressed with this cheese, really enjoy it. My wife Cheese in the chat, and she says, salt and pepper and ancient Filipino ingredients. Ancient Chinese secret kind of thing, right? But this is an ancient Filipino secret. Okay. And she says the original price, I think, is almost $10, and it was on sale. So the original price of the wine, the Jacobs Creek wine, is what she's saying, is $10. She got it on sale for $5.99. So that was a sale price. So, but I have seen it at Total Wine. They do have it listed on Total Wine for $5.49. So, if you have a Total Wine in your area, is what I like to affectionately call it, the Total Wino. I don't mean that in a derogatory way at all. I've shopped at Total Wine quite a bit. That's probably the best deal around, I guess, apparently. Let's see what's going on. Laudic is in the chat. Laudic says, hello, Rick. How are you? And right back at you, Laudic. Hello. And Captain Suisse One is in the chat and says hello. And I'm glad you're here. And once again, we were cut off a little bit earlier, but after we get the birthdays, we're going to do some birthday celebrations and national days. But I want to particularly poll everyone watching on Twitch. Because I have a couple things I want to ask you about, get some feedback and opinions on. You are going to help shape the future of this show, of Drink with Rick. So stick around, please. I'm going to poll you on some things, get some feedback from you. And of course, even if you're not on Twitch, the feedback is welcome. Also, you can tell me what you think. And I certainly taking some suggestions and feedback from everyone. So anyway, we'll get to that in a few minutes. But until then, we're going to pair it with let's see. Oh, I'll try the puto later. That's dessert. I always like to save the dessert for last. I'm not one to have the dessert first, although I know a lot of people do. But we'll save that for last thing before we close the show. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get to the birthdays and the celebrations and everything, because we have a few of them. We have a few, not as many as are coming up, because it seems like the first week in August or so is pretty quiet there on the birthday front for those I know. But if you are having a birthday or having a birthday coming up, please let me know, and I'll be happy. We'll be happy to celebrate it right along with you live here on the Wine Stream on Drink with Rick, on the Saturday Night Wine Stream. So the first one I want to celebrate, the first birthday, and she's here with us, as a matter of fact. We actually toasted her last week, but because her birthday is so close to the end of the week, I thought that it would be a good idea to toast her again, and I'm talking about Joanne. And Joanne, is my sister-in-law, and she will always be my sister-in-law, always be family. And I'm going to pour a little bit more for you, Joe, because this is going to be a big toast. Anyway, Joe, her birthday was on the 30th. That was Thursday. And Joe, I hope you had a happy... How'd you do? Did you do anything special on your birthday, by the way? I hope you had a great one. And I almost forgot. I don't want to forget this. The birthday fireworks. That's right. This is a tradition now on Drink with Rick. The birthday fireworks. Anyway, this is for you, Joe. Happy birthday. May you have many, many, many more. And how's the family doing? I'll give them my best. And tell me, what would you do on your birthday? Do anything special? Did you do anything that go out beach or whatever? Do anything special on your birthday? And I see the link. Let me see. Let me check out the link here. This is the one for the Saint Superi wine. This is it's a Napa Valley 2016 cab. Oh. You know what? That does look familiar. That label, I think I've seen that label before. Never really noticed it too much. This label, this is a cab. It's a 2016. This one here, Estate Vineyards and Winery. 100% estate grown and sustainably farmed winery. And in the Rutherford growing region in the heart of Napa Valley. I'm reading from the tech notes here that she sent over. And this one is 14.5% alcohol by volume. A little bit higher than the Jacobs Creek, but or at least the posted higher than the posted alcohol content on the label. And this is a blend: 85% Cab, 6% Petit Verdot, 3% Malbec, 3% Cabernet Franc, 3% Merlot. Wow, that's quite a blend. That's 5 wines in the blend. You know, I think the most, okay, you know what, I'm probably going to have to try this. Maybe what we'll do is we'll make a note to do this on the 100th episode. Because I'll tell you what, I have never done a blend with so many different wines in it. And I think the most, we've had blends. We've had a lot of blends before. They're all behind me, or what's left of them, the bottles. But and some of them were actually quite good. There are a couple that I didn't think were very good blends, but most of them were quite good. And the thing is with the blends, I think the most I've ever done with a blend was 4. I think there was I can't remember right offhand which wine it was back there, but there was one that had the, I want to say it was I want to say it was a Cab too, and it had a Petit Verdot, a Syrah, a Petit Syrah, and I think that was just the 4 wines in there. I don't think I've ever done one with 5 wines in there. I have to go back and check. I may be mistaken on that. The memory fails me there because I've had so many of these wines. And those are just the ones I've had on the wine stream. Okay. So anyway, Joe says, I had a great day. Thank you. Went to work at 5:30 a.m., worked 12 hours, but dinner was nice. Wow, Joe, you worked on your birthday, 5:30 a.m. Oh, my goodness. 5:30 a.m. You worked a 12-hour shift on your birthday. I'll tell you something, Joe. You're a trooper, and that deserves anybody who works on their birthday. I've done it. I've done it many times. But you know what? To do a 12-hour shift on your birthday, I think you've earned another toast just for that, okay? Here's to you, Joe. Happy birthday. Wow, 12-hour shift on your birthday. Well, I hope your bosses realize the sacrifice that you made and appreciate that. I think we all appreciate that. She says, but dinner was nice. That's cool. I'm glad it was nice. Anyway, getting back to the CM Cinder's in the chat. Good to see you, CM Cinder. And let's see, anything else going on? Anyway, once again, the chat folks, stick around. We're gonna poll you on some things. Let's see, birthdays. Who else do we have for a birthday? My good friend Stephanie. Stephanie is having her birthday. Her birthday is actually coming up on Monday. This is she's the sister, and we're all friends. We've known each other for years. We grew up, we went to church together back in Orlando, way back in the day. Her brother Jack, a good friend of mine, an old friend, and really cool guy. He was, when I was when we were growing up together in church, and he was one of those guys that I kind of thought he's like a super cool guy and somebody I always aspired to. Wow, I gotta. He's worth he's worth learning from how to be cool. Because I was not the cool guy, I was the nerdy guy. And why he hung out with the nerdy guy, I don't know, because I always saw him as a pretty cool guy. you know. But his sister, he has a couple of sisters, and Stephanie is the younger one. And Stephanie, your birthday once again, and Stephanie has a nice, really nice family too. We've been friends on Facebook for many years. But her birthday is Monday, right? Monday. So 8/3/2020. So Stephanie, here's to you. Here's to you. Happy, happy birthday. And may you have many, many, many more. And I hope you and your family are doing well, especially in these times. Please stay well, stay safe. And another person I would like to toast, give a birthday toast to, is my good friend Jeffrey Glaze. Jeff and I go way back to WOFL, our days at WOFL. He worked in engineering and kind of the engineering production department. He did a lot of work there. And as a matter of fact, Jeff, and Tim, they're both related, Tim Glaze, they worked together there at WFL, and I knew them both very well. Really, really nice people, really great guys, and they always treated me very well. And Jeff, if you're watching later, or if I don't see you in the chat now, if you're watching later, I just want to say happy birthday to you, and I hope it will be great. When your birthday is on August 5th, that's Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, but I want to give you a birthday shout out now. Give you a great birthday shout and say happy birthday to you, my good friend Jeffrey Glaze. And maybe one of these days we'll get to see you all again at some point. I'd love to get together with all of my old alumni at WOFL. It's been a while since I've seen you all. It's as many of you know who are in the wine stream every week. I was 12 years at WOFL, the local affiliate in Orlando, Fox 35. And before it even became a Fox affiliate, it was WFL Channel 35. And I started way back before they became a Fox affiliate. That was back when it was just a little indie station. And I don't know if my sister's in the chat. I don't know if she's in the chat yet or not, but she might remember when we were kids and we were growing up, WFL had a very interesting history, where it started off a very small indie station, and it would play. I used to come home from school on weekdays, and instead of doing my homework, which I should have been doing, I would sit down in front of the TV because I would want to watch shows like Star Trek and Leave It to Beaver and whatever else was on at the time. I think Lost in Space and a lot of other stuff, all the classic shows from the 60s were on, all the reruns of Star Trek, that was a big thing, and wow, what else did they run there? They ran things like the Munsters and the Addams Family and Gilligan's Island, of course. They ran Gilligan's Island and Beverly Hillbillies and things like that. Green Acres, all the reruns of all those shows back from the 60s. And I would used to sit for hours and watch WOFL. And in the back of my mind, I was saying, wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be so cool to work at this TV station? Get to watch all my favorite shows. And of course, I mean, that's not... Most of the staff at WFL, that's not really what they're doing. But I thought sitting there on the couch watching Channel 35, I'm thinking to myself, that's got to be the coolest job to work at a TV station like Channel 35 and get to watch all my favorite shows all day, to get paid for watching all my favorite shows. Okay? Well, my dream came true, actually, because some years later, when after when I was actually still working at Disney at the time, the opportunity came up for me to work at WOFL. And as things as things went, believe it or not, I was hired as the film editor because of my extensive experience making my own films and editing film. I had quite a bit of experience editing film, 8mm film, and then of course Super 8 wasn't. It was just a larger gauge of it, but and having had a lot of experience with that on my own, I got a job as a film editor there. And guess what I was editing? I was editing all the films in the library on 16mm film. Later on we switched over to videotape, and I did a lot of that too. But I started off as a film editor, actually cutting and splicing and putting in the commercial breaks and editing out shows for time and things like that. And I started off as a film editor there, WFL, and that's what I did for 8 hours a day. I got to watch all of my favorite shows, and I got paid. I got paid for watching all of my favorite shows at WOFL. A dream come true. Kind of weird how that happened, but pretty amazing, I'd say. So anyway, I got off on tangent. Anyway, Jeff, if I know I did toast you before, but I want to toast you again. Here's to you. Happy birthday. So there is one more that I want. Let me check the chat just once again to double check, see how things. CM Cinder says, "Hi, Dad," and I right back at you. That's my daughter Tia there. And let's see, anything else going on? It's quiet on YouTube right now. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I missed it. I pursue. My guy watches Gary V. Well. My guy watches Gary V. I pursue. It's good to see you in the chat. I pursue. Tell me what you're drinking or what you'd like to see me drinking, or what you'd like to be drinking. That's fine. And if you're not drinking anything, that's fine. Stick around. It's good. So my guy watches Gary V. You know what? I like Gary V. And I don't have anything against Gary V. Gary V is, he and his family were in the wine business, now in the retailing business, and he's been doing that for quite a long time, and of course now he's in doing a lot of things. He's quite the influencer these days. But and I was watching Gary V back when he was just doing his wine reviews, when he would do that, and he actually had a Roku channel. When I first got my Roku, I subscribed to his Roku channel and was watching his wine reviews there. So I like Gary V. I'll be honest, if you notice, I'm not a person who curses on the wine stream. That's not my thing. And I know a lot of people, I don't do it on my podcast. I've been a long-term podcaster, and I know folks who do that, and it's okay with them. That's not my thing. I don't do, I kind of, the cringe, the cursing thing kind of turns me off for some podcasts. I think Gary V, for those who don't know who we're talking about, Gary V is Gary Vaynerchuk. And he makes a lot of sense. He has a lot of he has a lot of good. I think he makes a good mentor for a lot of people, especially in business, especially those who are aspiring to do business and market themselves in business, and particularly on social media. Gary's a smart guy. I mean, Gary is a smart guy, and I'm not going to take away from him from that. I have a trouble watching his videos sometimes because he does drop the F-bombs a lot. There's no mistaking that. I guess I have to get used to it, but I'm just so old school. I'm just kind of person where I can't. I don't know. It still kind of makes me cringe when I hear people curse a lot. It's just not my thing. But yeah, I've watched Gary Vee a lot. I just kind of have to tune out a lot of the 4-letter words and such. But anyway, the difference between Gary and me, and first of all, Gary is probably more of a wine expert than I am. I'm not going to deny that. But I am not and I state it very simply, I am not a wine expert. I am not a sommelier. I am an everyman. That's the difference here. I'm an everyman who likes to drink wine. I know what I like. I know what I don't like. A lot of people, 99% of us, 99.9% of us are not experts, and we don't care to be experts. We just want to find a good bottle of wine that we enjoy to drink, and that's what I do here, is try to make recommendations and just tell you what I like to drink. You don't necessarily have to like what I'm drinking, but and everyone has their different tastes in wine. But you know what? Even the experts and even the sommeliers, a little secret about that is that as much pomp and circumstance as they bring to the wine industry, and there are one or two guys that really, really kind of overdo that, whose names I won't mention, but the wine snobs, I should say. Look, it's still a matter of taste. It's still a matter of personal taste, for the most part, okay? I know there are some wines over here I don't drink and I don't touch, okay, I have had a couple of those, but, okay, more than a few. Talking about the $2 Chuck now. But, for the most part, I know what I like, I know what I don't like, because it's my own personal taste. And there are people that love Mad Dog. They love, they'll drink all kinds of syrupy goop and that's called wine, that super sickeningly sweet stuff, and that would give you a headache after the first shot. And it's, that's what they like. That's their thing. I'm not going to judge them. I am not going to judge them. That's their thing. It's not my thing. That's their thing. And for those who are the wine snobs that say, don't drink this because this is my $150 bottle of whatever it is, Montepulciano or whatever. And I'm not going to judge them either, but I would just say that for me, I'm not going to necessarily take their word for it. First of all, I'm not going to plunk down $150 for a bottle of wine. Second, you know what? It may taste great to them, but there are a lot of very expensive wines, and we've talked about this many times before. There are a lot of very expensive wines that actually are not that great. And, as I mentioned before, some of those very expensive wines still wind up in your $5.99 bottle of whatever it is, because they sell off a lot of that overstock wine to those other wineries that blend it into other wines, and maybe sometimes just sell it as is, and you wind up, you're actually drinking, you're paying $6 for a bottle of wine, and you're actually drinking that $150 bottle of wine that so-and-so sommelier recommends because it's so elite. So, look, it's a lot of this is a big I shouldn't say anymore, and I didn't mean to get on a rant about it, but look, a lot of it's just kind of some of it's nonsense, okay? Some of it's for real, but some of it's nonsense, and just enjoy drinking what you like. If you like to drink it, whether it be a $30 bottle of your favorite wine, as Joe's drinking here, if she enjoys it and it's good for her, that's a good wine, and she recommends it, that's a bottle of wine I want to try, the St. Superari. And I look forward to drinking it. But if that's what you like, go for it, and don't let anybody tell you that not to drink it just because they don't like it. Okay? Same with me. I'll try these wines, and I will say I didn't like. Oh, you know what? There's some wines I didn't like. That Cabernet Sauvignon back in the back. That was one that was a recommendation. I didn't really care for it too much. I didn't like it. It was too sweet for me. But there were some people that just love it. And that's okay for them. That's fine. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. And Lynn Marley says, it's just business. She says, Lynn Marley says, I completely agree. And by the way, thank you for joining me in the chat. We're going to be taking a poll here shortly on Twitch, and I would like to know what you think of this and get your opinions on it. Let's see, anything else going on YouTube? I went into my rant a little earlier tonight, didn't I? That's okay. It's okay. This is a stream of consciousness kind of show. If you're joining me for the first time, this is not a scripted. Now, I do have some show notes, which I'm holding on my hand right now, But this is not a scripted show, and I do not necessarily stick with all of my show notes. As you can see, I'm still running my celebratory fireworks back here for the birthdays, and I've been ranting all this time. That's just we're just having a good time, drinking wine, having a good time. There is one more reason I have this still going on. These fireworks are for my son Tommy as well. My son Tommy, who is Tommy Savoia, who is also a veteran podcaster in his own right, and a YouTuber and a Twitch streamer in his own right. He had his graduation. He graduated from Central Piedmont Community College, CPCC, earlier this year. He had kind of a pseudo graduation. It was online. I actually posted some photos of it in a previous wine stream back in, I think, May, middle of May. But they wanted to do an actual official graduation where they're all lined up and they're getting their diplomas and all that. Of course, this year, because of the pandemic, they were not able to do that. They had to do something a little different. So what they did, and I had some video I want to prepare and show you a clip of this video to see actually how they did it, but I'm probably going to have to save it for another time because I didn't get it done in time for the show. But what they did on the 29th, they had an official graduation ceremony where we all got in our vehicles and went out to the site where they were going to do the graduation, and we got in a line in the vehicles and in a car line, and one by one, each of the graduates got out of the car, went through a processional by themselves to be congratulated for their graduation ceremony and for completing their 2 years at CPCC, and got their diploma or whatever. Supposedly they were going to mail the diplomas in, but they gave them each an envelope, which he still hasn't opened yet. So for all I know, the diploma may still be in there. I don't know, or maybe in there now. But anyway, they were handed. He was given a white tassel, or a white tassel to note that he was on the dean's list. I believe he was on the dean's list. Anyway, he officially graduated. That was on July 29th. That was a Wednesday. We took the day off from work so we could go do this, and had a nice celebratory dinner later. But here's to my son, Tommy Savoia, who got his AA degree, Associate of Arts degree. Here's to you for working very hard. He worked very hard for 2 years. He dedicated his life to getting his degree, studied very hard. I'm quite proud of you, son. I want to say congratulations, or congratulations, I should say. Here's to you. That's for my son, Tommy. And he will be going in just a few short weeks. He will be going to Appalachian State to get his 4-year degree. We're looking forward to that. Anyway, if you're joining me just now, this is the wine that we're drinking. This is the Jacobs Creek Cabernet Sauvignon, the vintage 2019. It was recommended. This was a viewer recommended label, Jacobs Creek. Actually, I didn't specifically recommend the cab, but I recommended a 2018, but I couldn't find a 2018, so I got a 2019 cab, and I got a 2018 Shiraz, which we may be opening next week. But anyway, this is actually pretty decent wine. I kind of like it, and I would have to say, so far, I would say that it is a pretty good recommendation. So thank you. I appreciate the recommendation. And if you're watching now or listening later, or watching later, as the case may be, send me an email. If you have a wine recommendation, send me an email. Like I said, I do this. I've had several people recommend. Several of my viewers and listeners have recommended wines, and we've tried them in the past. Now we have had one miss. Which one is it? I think it's buried in there somewhere now. But we did have one miss on the wine so far that I didn't really personally care for, but that they really highly recommend it. But that was a while back, and long forgotten, long forgotten in the back. But that's not the point. The point is, tell me if it's something that you like. I'll see if I like it too. That's the way it works. I'll give it a fair review. And it was a fair review. So back to, let's see, Twitch. Lynn Marley says, cheers, and thank you right back to you. Cheers. So, National Days. We're going to go over to the poll here in a few minutes. Before we do that, let me get to the National Days, because we have some National Days coming up that I think are definitely worth celebrating. August 1st. Today is August 1st, 2020. Today is International Mahjong Day. And you know what? I will definitely drink to that because I like Mahjong. And you know, I can't say that I completely understand all the rules of Mahjong. You know, she caught me, my wife, she saw me playing, she caught me playing Mahjong. I was you know, just sitting in the bed playing Mahjong on the Roku. They had a Mahjong game up there, but it was one of those solitaire Mahjong games. And she saw me there. She says, "I never really could get into the rules of playing Mahjong. I never really could get into that." And I basically, I didn't really say anything. I was like, "Oh, I can play Mahjong." The truth of the matter is that I don't really understand all the rules of Mahjong either. But what I do like to play is I do like to play the solitaire version of Mahjong, which is basically a really, really simplified version of Mahjong. If you've never played Mahjong, it's where they use all the little tokens, little wooden pieces there. They stack up in different ways, and that it's a game of strategy and skill is what it is. But the solitaire version, of course, you're not playing. You usually play with anywhere from between 2 to 7 players, something like that. It kind of depends on the type of Mahjong game. But in the solitaire Mahjong, you kind of, it's a single player game. And you kind of have to sort of remove all these things and try to win. And I got hooked on it way back. I don't know if you remember this, but way back in the days of the After Dark games. Remember the After Dark games? This is back in the days of Windows 3.11 for work groups and Windows 95 and Windows 98. These were the After Dark games. They came from the After Dark screensaver. It was based on the After Dark screensavers with the flying toasters. Remember the screensavers of the flying toasters and stuff like that? And they made a series of games. It was Sierra Online that was the publisher and the creator and the publisher originally of the games. And I think it's changed hands a couple of times since then. But the original games, they had a bunch of different games there, and they used characters based on, I think there was one, they had, the After Dark games had like 10 games based on characters from their screensavers and things like that. The Mahjong game was one of them, and I got hooked on that, and it was. I still play it. Actually, I still play it because, believe it or not, and a lot of people don't know this, but if you have the original After Dark games that were actually intended for the old Windows 95 and the DOS-based games and things like that, they will still play on Windows 10. They will still play on Windows 10. You just install them and you put them in a mode where you can play in that mode. They will still play on Windows 10. I know because I play it. I still play these games on Windows 10. Now, you can't resize the screen or anything. The screen's really, really squatty. You can't really small, but you can't really expand the screen. But you can still play the games. And I do that sometimes, late at night. Sometimes when I'm just trying to relax a little bit, I'll put up a game of Mahjong or what is that, Bad Dog 911 or Mower Maniac or some of those other games from way back in the day. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do a Twitch stream. You know what? I should probably do a Twitch stream on that sometime, just playing the game for a while, just for fun. I think that would be kind of interesting. Lynn Marley says, how long before you pour out the rejected wines? Usually the next day, and there are not too many of them. There there have been only like three wines that I've actually poured down the drain after I finished a show. I do a wine stream. I was like, I didn't really like this wine. And there've only been, I think, three total. Well, maybe two total, because I think the third one, I think the next day I went back and just said, I can't throw this out because it cost so much money that I have to finish it. I don't want to pour that much money down the drain. So I'd finish it. I'd hold my nose and drink it, but I'd finish it. But there've been a couple of wines that I actually poured down the drain the next day. Because what I do is after the wine stream's over, as you can tell behind me, after the wine stream's over, I will I will wash out the empty wine bottle, and the next day or so, whenever I finish drinking the wine, a lot of times I'll put it in the fridge and save it and drink it the next evening or whatever. I'll rinse out the wine bottle, and I will put it up on the shelf as the next wine that was had. The one we drank last week, the Boulet Cordon, that one sitting right there. That's the one that we had last week on the wine stream, and I really enjoy that wine, by the way. That was actually a really, really good wine. We did that with the wine and cheese tasting, and it was quite an experience. I really enjoyed it, and I do recommend that one. I do, by the way, recommend that one. The Fitvine is another one. That was another one. The Fitvine wines were one that was also recommended by my friend Stephanie, who's a fellow podcaster, and she's a viewer, and she recommended those to me, so I went ahead and bought a couple of those, and we tried those. So that's what we did. Yeah, it's tough. And Lynn Marley says, yes, it's so hard to finish the bad ones. It is, but it's so hard to it's a really difficult thing to throw out if you spent. It depends on how much you spent on it. If it was like a few bucks and you didn't like it at all, it's going down the drain, as I've done a couple of times. But if it's something that you spend a fair amount of money on, you look at it, and it depends on how bad it is. If it's really bad, it's going down the drain. But if it's something that you think, it wasn't that great, it was definitely not a $15 or $20 bottle of wine, but I do not want to pour half of a $15 bottle of wine down the drain. It just seems like such a waste. So I will suck it up and drink it. Yeah, pretty much. It won't be a lot of fun, but I'll drink it. Lynn Marley says, "Oh, I am familiar with Fitvine." Yeah, it's very actually. I actually enjoyed those wines. Didn't make me much slimmer, but I enjoyed them. Anyway, so getting back to the national days, let's see. We were talking about International Mahjong Day. Yes, I'll drink to that because I have not toasted that yet. Enjoy National Mahjong Day. National Raspberry Cream Pie Day. That's another one. Okay. No words needed. Here's the National Raspberry Cream Pie Day. No words necessary. National Girlfriend's Day. Your girlfriends, your friends. I'm not sure exactly what that means. I'm not clicking on it, but because I've got to go down this list. There are too many of them on the list here. But National Girlfriend's Day. I've had girlfriends. I'm not going to go any farther than that because I'm married now. I'm happily married for 26 plus years to my girlfriend, who is also my wife. Here's to Girlfriend's Day, National Girlfriend's Day, because she was my girlfriend before she was my wife. I'm not sure it means it in that context. I think it means just friends who are, hey, girlfriend, that kind of thing. National Minority Donor Awareness Day. Okay, I'll drink to that. Yeah, sure. I'm not sure exactly what the context of that is. National Minority. Are you donating minorities? No, minority donor. So you're a donor who is a minority. I think that's what that is. Awareness Day. Okay, I'll drink to that. National Disc Golf Day. That's the first Saturday in August, which is today, for another hour and 40 minutes. No, excuse me. I'm reading that backwards. Miscalculated. It's another 40 minutes. Excuse me. National Disc Golf Day. That's the first Saturday in August. If you don't, do you know what disc golf is? If you don't know what disc golf is, I think most of us do. But if you don't know what disc golf is, it looks like a lot of fun. I've never actually played it myself, but I think I'd kind of like to, because hey, look, I've thrown discs. I've done the Frisbee registered trademark discs and a lot of other discs, and we've played with that. My son and I, on occasion, would go out in the front yard or in the backyard or whatever and throw a Frisbee around. We've done that many times when I was a kid. But there is a whole sport around disc golf. That's a real thing, for those of you who don't know. This is actually pretty cool. There's actually an association, just like the PGA, like the Professional Golf Association, and also the Women's PGA Golf Association. There is what's called the PDGA, Disc Golf Course Association, and there are courses all around America. I had no idea. I knew it was something. I knew that you could play disc golf. I was aware of disc golf as a game, but I didn't know it was such a wide-ranging sport, and apparently it is a very wide-ranging sport, to the point where they have a PDGA, and they have disc golf courses around the country where you can take your discs. And we're talking about, like, most people think of Frisbees, but that's a trademark name, kind of like Kleenex is for tissues, but it's a disc, a flying disc, a throwing disc that you can throw around. And what you do, the object of the game is that you take the disc and then you have a marker there of some sort, whether it's, I think they changed it over the years, but I think originally they had people aiming at trees and things, but you try to aim it at that marker and from a certain distance, and then however tries to take, it's kind of similar to playing golf, where you take that initial hit, knocking the ball out there to see how far you can get, and then you have to, how many strokes it takes to get to the hole. It's the same sort of thing with disc golf, where you take that initial, toss, and then where it lands, that's where you play it from, and then you play it until you get it to its to whatever the mark is that you're going to hit or toss it in. And I think originally there were like trees and things like that, but they've evolved this thing into a really big sport. And they actually have disc golf courses. And now, after seeing this, I think this will be a lot of fun to go check out. I'm going to have to check one out. They actually have a directory where you can, if you go to, and of course I'm getting all these national days from nationaldaycalendar.com. If you go to nationaldaycalendar.com, there is a link to the PDGA Disc Golf Course directory, and you can click on that link, and there's a directory of disc golf courses all around the country that you can go to. You can find one in your area if it's something you're interested in, and it's actually a pretty energetic sport. It's a good way to get some exercise. I'm going to have to check that out. But National Disc Golf Day, I had no idea. Well, there's one more thing to this. It's not just the PDGA and the golf course, and you don't have to join a golf club or anything like that, or a PDGA club or something like that to play. That most of these, unlike a lot of golf courses, which you have to pay, fees to get on and play and all that sort of thing. Sometimes you have to join the club, whatever it is, depending on what it is. With the PDGA, it's open to the public. You don't have to go off and do all that kind of stuff. So that's really cool. It makes it easy to get into to that. They call now they have an event. They have an annual event, I think, in the city of Rochester, where they call it the American Flying Disc Open. So it's actually just like the American Open, like in the golf, but it's the American Flying Disc Open. That's pretty cool. But they not only have that, but also apparently, and I just found this out today by going to nationaldaycalendar.com. Apparently, it looks like that the Olympics, it's growing as an international sport. I'm reading this off the nationaldaycalendar.com, as a matter of fact. In August of 2015, the International Olympic Committee granted full recognition to flying disc sports, providing a global platform for flying disc sports, including disc golf. So apparently the Olympic Committee is recognizing disc golf as an international sport. That's actually pretty cool. I'd say I'd get into that. I like throwing a frisbee around. I'm no good at it, but I like throwing one around, and we have a few flying discs in the house. That's actually a pretty cool thing to get into. Yeah, I'll have to check that out myself. Anyway, you know what? I'll toast that because I think that's pretty cool. Here's the National Disc Golf Day. And Joe says, I appreciate the birthday fireworks. Well, you know what, Joe? I appreciate you. I do. I mean, I'm not just saying that. I really do appreciate that. Appreciate you and you being here right now with us. And Joe is a very sweet person. She's also a very funny person. Let me tell you, she's my sister-in-law. She's a very funny person. I love the way she writes. She's very clever, and I enjoy whenever she posts something. I enjoy reading what she writes because she's very good at prose, and she's also she's funny. I really enjoy it. Anyway, Joe, once again, here's to you. Let's see what else we have going on here for the National Days. National Days at a glance. National Jamaican Patty Day. I'm not. Well, I don't know. Let me click on that and see what that is. I have no idea what that is. National Jamaican Patty Day. First Saturday in August. It's according to nationaldaycalendar.com. By the way, that's my friend Marlo Anderson's website. He's the CEO of nationaldaycalendar.com. And I don't get paid for saying that. I'm just saying it. Delicious turnover-style pastry. It's a pastry filled with a variety of fillings. Jamaican patties satisfy hunger with seasoned ground beef, chicken, seafood, or vegetables made into a half-moon shape. The flaky crust provides a delicious package, while usually spicy, milder stuffings please those who are faint of heart. Wow, that sounds like fun. I'll bet that'd go good with this cab. That might actually go pretty good with this Cabernet. Or maybe a good Malbec. Maybe good Malbec on that. Jamaican patties. Seasoned ground beef, chicken, seafood, or vegetables. Jamaican Patty Day is the first Saturday in August. Okay, I'll drink to that. Okay, seeing as how I have to refill the wine glass, let me see what else is left here. National Mustard Day is first Saturday in August. And, of course, I've got to fill the glass for this. National Mead Day is the first Saturday in August. Do you know what mead is? Have you ever had mead? Do you know what it is? Okay, mead is a drink. It is a fermented drink, not too much unlike wine, except although wine is specifically made from grapes, mead is a drink made of some other things. It's what they do is they combine honey, and it's a lot of it's made from honey and water and yeast, and you use it to make mead, and it's one of the oldest, at least according to nationaldaycalendar.com, it's one of the oldest fermented beverages, one of the world's oldest fermented beverages, and it's also known as honey wine, nectar, or ambrosia. You're familiar with ambrosia? That's mead. So I've never had it. I would like to try it. Like to try it. That sounds like that could be sounds very sweet, but I don't know if I could drink very much of it, but sounds very interesting. I'd like to try that. From honey, and a fermented beverage from honey and yeast and water. How about that? National Mead Day. I'm sure there are people in the chat here that know mead probably much better than I do, because I've never really had it. But I think I'd like to try it. Here's to Mead Day. Tomorrow is August 2nd, and August 2nd is National Coloring Book Day. My kids grew up on coloring books. I did when I was a kid, had coloring books. American Family Day is the first Sunday in August. Look, spend some time with your family. I should be one to talk. I need to spend some time with my family tomorrow because tomorrow is American Family Day. I'll drink to that. It's also National Sisters Day. I will definitely drink to that. Do I have are any of my sisters in the chat? No, okay. Joe's in the chat. What about Gina or Penny? Are they in the chat tonight? They're not. They are often in the chat. They often step in and watch the show. They're not in here particularly this evening. But to my sisters, this is National Sisters Day because I love my sisters, and Joe is one of my sisters. My sister-in-law, she's one of my sisters. Here is to National Sisters Day. I do appreciate my sisters. I appreciate my brothers too, but I don't have a National Brothers Day coming up right now, so I'll toast you later. National Friendship Day. It's National Friendship Day coming up, and I'm going to come back to you on that in just a moment because I want to hit National Ice Cream Sandwich Day first. National Ice Cream Sandwich Day. I love ice cream sandwiches. You love ice cream sandwiches? My daughter does. Tia. CM Center, she loves ice cream sandwiches. I love ice cream sandwiches. I guess it's in the blood. I'll tell you a quick story about ice cream sandwiches. When I was a kid, when I was going to school, I went to high school at Lake Howell High School in, I guess the time, I think it was Oviedo, or no, excuse me, it was, I think they listed it as being in Winter Park, but it's actually more in Winter Springs, Oviedo area, right there on the kind of near the border. But let's see, that they would serve in the cafeteria area every day. They would serve a lot of different things, but one of the things that I really enjoyed, I'd get the pizza, the little square nasty pizzas, but I like the pizzas actually. And they're just kind of cheese pizzas with some pizzas with some just little flavorings on it. But the one things I also used to do when I would have lunch in the cafeteria is I made a point almost every day. I would switch off. So it wasn't every day, but it was about every other day. I would have an ice cream sandwich. And I can remember that it cost a dime. I would save my dimes, and I would ask for an extra dime for my lunch money just so I could get an ice cream sandwich. Loved ice cream sandwiches. And then the days when they didn't have ice cream sandwiches, I would get an ice cream bar, the ones that were covered with chocolate. Loved those too. But my favorite was the ice cream sandwiches. I just loved those things. And really enjoy those. I have a lot of fond memories of eating ice cream sandwiches with my friends at the lunch table at Lake Howell. Anyway, here's the ice cream sandwich day. I love ice cream sandwiches to this day, although I can't really eat them much anymore because I'm trying to watch my diet, believe it or not. Okay, so the other thing is National Friendship Day. I want to toast this because this is a special toast. As I said so many times before, this show is not about me, okay? It's about the wine, but it's not about me. This show is about you and me. You and me being together, spending some time together in the chats, just hanging out, just having a great time, drinking wine or drinking whatever your favorite beverage is. It doesn't have to be wine, it could be water, whatever. And just having a great time, just sitting around and chatting and having fun. And this toast is to you, to us, on the Saturday Night Wine Stream. I do appreciate having you here. I'm just, it's an honor that people are watching. Look, I'm doing this thing every week, and I can say, yeah, I'm doing this show every week, and I'm putting on this thing. And but look, once again, this is not really my show. This is our show. This is you and me. We're just hanging out and having a good time. And without you, this really wouldn't be a show. I wouldn't still be doing this 70 episodes. We're 70 episodes in, and I wouldn't be doing it for 70 episodes if it wasn't for you, if you weren't here with me. Because I don't want to be sitting here doing this by myself. I can drink by myself without being on a stream. I can do that. Why not? I'll just open a bottle and drink it and just drink by myself. But it's lonely. Drinking by yourself is lonely. Being by yourself is lonely. I'd rather be with friends. And you're my friends. And I do appreciate you. And I want to say, here's to National Friendship Day. Happy National Friendship Day. To my friends on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, wherever you are, I do appreciate you. CM Cinder says, ice cream sandwiches. Too bad we don't have any more in the freezer. Yeah, because I think you ate them all up, didn't you? Admin Friend 1 says, I'm an alcoholic, so I would like to drink with Rick every day. Yeah, my wife would have a tendency to agree with you, I think, in terms of me. But no, I tried to drink, and we're about halfway down the bottle, so I'm probably going to close this up here shortly. But I'm glad you're here with me, Admin Friend 1. And Lynn Marley says, cheers, right back at you. Okay, so that gets us, I think that closes out the national days for the week. For this time, the next couple of days. So this is what I want to do, and this is actually really more directly towards the folks at Twitch, because I have it on my list here. See, poll viewers and listeners. There we go. Before it gets too late, because we're going to close this up here shortly. But here's the thing. This is what I'm looking at. I've been looking at Twitch quite a bit lately, and been talking to my executive producer here, my son Tommy, and he seriously, we've been looking at ways to try to up the game here on Twitch a little bit, because I've taken kind of an interest in it. I'm not really a gamer per se. I played my share of games, but I've never really been that much into games where I've just been fanatical about watching people playing games and doing games. But Twitch has primarily been a gaming platform up until recently, where more and more podcasters, now I am a podcaster, okay, and I am a streamer, and Twitch has taken notice of that recently, and they're trying to up their game. They're trying to increase their presence, and they're trying to compete more with YouTube. So they're doing more with other venues, other genres, other types of people that also stream, like for instance podcasters. There's actually a podcast category there on Twitch. There's also one called Food and Drink. Now, we are listed, if you're looking for us on Twitch, we are listed in the Food and Drink category. And the reason we are listed there, not in the podcast category, is because our venue here, our topic really, is about food and drink, and more specifically drink, but some food. And then there's another category called Just Chatting, and a couple other categories that are not really related to gaming. But Twitch is trying to expand somewhat. And I think that's a good thing, because I think YouTube, and no offense to YouTube, but I think you do need some competition here. I really do, especially lately. But I think Twitch is a very interesting venue, and I want to explore that more. But and you know, and some of my friends here on Twitch who have also suggested that I get more involved in that area. So I do appreciate that, and I do listen to you. So what I want to do is I want to do a couple of things on the Twitch side. Well, because Twitch it's a channel. It's like a TV channel. Now, it's not TV per se, but it is a TV channel. And I've looked at a lot of other channels that some of them that I've actually subscribed to. I think there's one called the Justin Wilson Show, where he's like, I'm not even sure he's still alive anymore, but they play a lot of videos where he's cooking. It's a cooking show, and by the way, my wife's into cooking shows. She really watches those late nights, and we fall asleep to cooking shows sometimes, late nights on TV. But I noticed that there's a lot of cooking shows on TV now. It's become very, very popular. And there are a lot of, I've subscribed to, Bob Ross has a channel. We were, in fact, if you stepped in just before the stream started, you noticed that I was hosting a stream from Bob Ross. If you know who Bob Ross is, he's the gentleman who used to do all the painting, the Bob Ross, The Joy of Painting, where he would paint something every week on PBS. And of course, he passed away a few years ago, but they still restream all of his old shows. Now, where am I going with this? Where I'm going with this is I've been thinking about upping the game there a little bit on this channel, because right now we just do the Saturday Night Wine Stream. For an hour and a half on Saturday nights, I just stream this show out. However, I've been looking to say, well, I could be doing a lot more with this than I have been doing. And for a couple of reasons, but primarily for entertainment purposes. I was saying, and to serve those who watch me on Twitch, that maybe I could do some more with it and expand that. So one of the things I wanted to try is doing a couple of restreams, but I wasn't sure how that would be received. Now, I've been watching a lot of these streams or restreams or replays on Twitch in the past. One being the Justin Wilson Show and Bob Ross, they're all, of course, replays, and none of that is live anymore, obviously. But there have been a number of others, and I've found, hey, I could do something like that. But I want to do this tastefully. I don't want to do it without boring people, and I want to be sure that what I'm doing is going to make some sense. So this is what I'm proposing, and this is where I need your help. Everyone's help, but especially those who hang out on Twitch. What I'm proposing is doing a Wednesday night replay, calling a what was I going to call it? Wednesday Rewind, where I would replay a previous episode. Now, and I know, for anyone who gets started, I know there, for those of you who also stream on Twitch, there are highlights and things like that I can do, and I've done that. I've done some of that, but I want to mix this up a little bit. Wednesday Rewind, I want to do a live replay of a previous episode of Drink with Rick. But the thing is, it's a replay, so it's a pre-recorded broadcast, if you will, but have a live chat going, where I will be in the live chat with you, and we can talk about it. We can talk about anything, make fun of it if you want. I don't care. It's okay. It's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Make fun of it. Just don't be mean. But, you can talk about it and talk about ways we can improve it and things like that. Or just talk about other stuff. Just have it going on. Just talk about anything. And I will be with you live in the chat on Wednesday nights. It'll be a replay, but I will be there. And we can talk. Another idea was to be able to do a something called a Throwback Thursday, where I could take an original, one of the early episodes of the wine stream. Now, here's the thing about Twitch. Unlike YouTube and Facebook, which will retain even the earliest versions or the earliest episodes of Drink with Rick. Yeah, there's my... the wine's kicking in now. There's my pronunciation going. My pronunciation. Anyway, unlike those platforms, Twitch doesn't do that. Twitch will only hold a video for replay for up to 30 days, unless you are a Prime, an Amazon Prime user, which I am an Amazon Prime member, in which they will hold it for 60 days, and then it scrolls off. Now, I found a workaround for that, okay? I found a workaround, but I'm not going to talk to anybody about that right now. There's a workaround for it. There's a way to game that system a little bit, which I found out about. But be that as it may, for the most part, 60 days. So what if I did this? Right now, there are only the last couple of months of episodes of Drink with Rick on Twitch. And it scrolls off. And for those who are interested in the show and have wanted to go back and watch the older episodes or see the progression of how we've evolved over the last 2 years, or a year and a half, almost 2 years, not quite, they can't really do that unless they go to another venue. So I was thinking, well, maybe I can do a Throwback Thursday and replay one of those episodes, one of those early episodes, and then throw that in with a live chat. That could be a lot of fun, right? So I'm looking for your feedback on it. And you don't have to, I'm not going to make the decision tonight per se, but you give me the feedback and tell me what you think. And you know, I will plan up something for the next week, beginning with the next week here. We'll plan up something and start experimenting, because that's what I do as a podcaster. I experiment with all this stuff. That's what I've done for 14 years as a podcaster, as one of the old guard, as they would call them, podcasters. That's what I've done. I spent most of my time experimenting with podcasts. And I want to experiment with this, but I don't want to bore people to tears, and I don't want to turn people off to the channel and say, oh man, this is stupid. So I'm looking for your honest feedback. Give me your honest feedback, and you know what? I'll even throw in a pair of people who give me feedback that I can use. I'll throw in a pair of Drink with Rick coasters in there in the mix that I can send to you. And we'll take it from there. Also, there is one other thing, not just for the Twitch users, but for everyone. And look, you don't have to be on Twitch to participate. You can be anywhere. You can on Facebook and YouTube, that sort of thing. But I am toying with the idea with doing a fall film festival during Drink with Rick, kind of like a la Mystery Science Theater 3000 kind of thing, you know, along those lines. But it's with my films. As many of you know, I have been a filmmaker. I was a filmmaker in a previous life, and I have a lot of old films that I would like to play, and I've done that already. We've toyed around with this. We played around with this before. If you look back to some of the shows in May, I think it was around May, that I showed some clips from a film I made, an 8mm film that I made, and surprisingly, it got a really good reception. I was impressed. You got a lot of people watched it, and they really enjoyed it. So I'm going to expand this. I want to expand this and say, and I've got to transfer all these films, and I'm working on that process. But I'm going to. I'm thinking about expanding this. Okay, I'm going to maybe do a fall film festival for a month, where during the wine stream we show clips of some of the films that I've done in the past with some commentary and stuff, and we can sit back and drink and talk about it and just enjoy those clips. And so it's something I'm thinking about doing in September, I guess, September, October, in the fall period. We'll call it a Fall Film Festival. So that could be kind of fun too. Anyway, those are all ideas I have to do some things with the wine stream. Anyway, I appreciate your feedback. Please send me your feedback. There are a couple other things I want to mention before I go before we close off, because it is getting kind of late. But a couple of things I want to mention that I think are important. If you are in the strike zone or the what they think might be the strike zone for the current hurricane that's out there, Hurricane Isaias. If you're not familiar with those of you who are not on the East Coast or in the Gulf Coast or whatever, Hurricane Isaias is the latest hurricane to bear down on the country. It's approaching Florida right now. Last I heard, 8 p.m. Eastern, I think it was around that time, that I heard it was about 100 miles off the coast of Florida, bearing down, and I believe at 7 miles per hour. It was moving 7 miles per hour, and it is 100. It's packing. It's been downgraded actually to a tropical storm at the moment, because it's back down to 70 miles per hour. But they're expecting it to strengthen back up as a hurricane before it hits landfall, which is typical for a lot of hurricanes, especially in the warm waters there between the Gulf and the Atlantic, because that's pretty much where it is, kind of between that area. It's really more on the Atlantic side, but it's the Atlantic and the not Pacific, but the Gulf Coast of the Atlantic, where the Gulf Coast, the waters are a little bit warmer. It's expected to strengthen somewhat. So it's expected to make landfall, I think sometime tomorrow, I think is what I've heard. I don't know because I haven't checked since it's 3 hours later. It's almost 4 hours later, and I last checked it around 8:30 or so. But last I checked, it was moving at about 7 miles an hour, 70-mile-an-hour winds, and it's supposed to reach hurricane status again before it hits landfall. And it's supposed to hit somewhere on the southeast coast of Florida. Please, for all my friends there in Florida and my family there, because I do have family there, please hunker down, be prepared, be ready. Who knows what this thing's going to do? You really don't know. And it's supposed to. It looks like it's going west-northwest. I think is what last I heard. So it's going northwest. So it may be skirting up the coast. It may miss us here in North Carolina, but we'll probably see some rain in the next couple of days. I'm telling you this because be prepared. Make sure you have. If you haven't, please go to ready.gov. That's G-O-V. That's a government website. It's ready.gov, and they have a list of items there that you really need for an emergency kit. Prepare, make an emergency kit, be ready. Third item on the emergency kit, of course, is a radio, a two-way radio. We have a number of two-way radios. It's a weather radio that I have. This one is our weather radio downstairs, but we have a number of them. I have a number of them up here. And if you it's kind of late, actually kind of late to be buying a weather radio now, because you really should have a weather radio before a hurricane is approaching, when it's a good day. So you really don't want to be doing this now. And as you see, I have a number of weather radios. This is that's a ham radio, but I have a GMRS radio, and it's equipped with NOAA weather channels. This one is a weather radio that's equipped for NOAA weather channels. It's also a GMRS radio. We have all of these at buy2wayradios.com. Oops, the wrong one. That's the wrong one too. There we go. Buy2wayradios.com. Oh my goodness. That's buy2wayradios.com. They sell two-way radios of all sorts: GMRS, ham radio, marine, airband radios, business radios, personal radios of all sorts, FRS radios. They sell weather radios too. If you go to buy2wayradios.com and enter the promo code SHOW at checkout, you will get a 5% discount off your order. And that's your entire order. That's your entire order. And even if you don't need a weather radio, if you need something else like a weather radio accessory, it's good for that too. So if you can get to buy2wayradios.com, this is the home page, buy2wayradios.com. Enter the code WINESHOW, that's WINESHOW. Once again, WINESHOW at WINESHOW at checkout, and you can save 5% off your order. Now, I don't make any money off this, okay? I work, for full disclosure, I work for buy2wayradios.com. That's my day job. They are my employers. That's just one that they gave me to use on the wine stream and on the podcast. But I don't make any extra money off of it. Okay, I'd love to make some extra money off of this. Trust me, this show cost me money. I'm not making any money off this show. I'm just doing it for fun. But one of these days, maybe I can make some money off of that. It'd be my dream job, right? To get paid for drinking. Who wouldn't love that? Add me friend one. Let's see. Oh, I read that one already. Okay. Tom Antio says, I'm so tired of all these storms. I want to see the sun for more than one day at a time. Haha. I agree with you, Tom Antio. I agree with you 100%. Also, there's one other thing I want to mention real quick. The Global Podfest Global Summit is coming up August 10th through 15th. This is presented by Libsyn, but what the Podfest, and of course, you know, I'm a podcaster. My son is also. Podfest is an event held every year. If you are interested in podcasting, or if you are a podcaster, Podfest Global Summit is going to be held August 10th through 15th. This is going to be a virtual summit this year, virtual summit, but they're doing something a little bit different. This is something special. An attempt to set the Guinness World Record for the largest virtual podcasting conference. That's what they're doing. They're trying to put together, it's a global summit. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get as many people together as possible to attend this thing and set a record, a Guinness Book of World Records record for the most people attending a virtual conference ever online. This is kind of cool. I want to be a part of this, be one of the largest gathering of people online attending a virtual conference. This is a big deal. So if you're interested, even if you're not really into podcasting, this could be a lot of fun. You could be part of history getting the Podfest into the Guinness Book of World Records. It's a pretty big deal. Anyway, you can go to bytowhereradios.com. Oh, bytowhereradios.com. Oh my goodness, the wine's setting in, isn't it? Go to savoyamedia.com, savoyamedia.com, or go to drinkwithrick.com. Look on a link to attend Podfest Global Summit. And there are free tickets available. There are free tickets available for this, and you can attend for free. There are paid ones available also, but you can, if you're just curious, you can go and do the live event, and there are some free tickets there, so you can check that out. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have tonight. I'm going to give you a last summary on the wine, what we've been drinking tonight. We've been drinking Jacob's Creek. This is the Jacob's Creek Cabernet Sauvignon. This is a 2019 vintage, named after Jacob's Creek, site of Johann Gramp's first vineyard. This is an Australian wine. This is from Australia. And I tell you what, I love Australian wines. I love the people from Australia. I have relatives from Australia. And just great respect for the people of Australia. Just a great people. I tell you what, you kind of have to be tough living in Australia. I mean, it's some wild country out there, but I've never been there myself. My sister has, and a lot of stories I've heard. Yeah, I saw Crocodile Grundy. Yeah, Dundee, not Grundy. Crocodile. Yeah, it is. The wine is setting in. Crocodile Dundee. That was supposed to be a quick joke. That just turned out to be much longer than it should have been. Anyway, so. Australian people are just fine people. Yes, Mad Max. Who can forget Mad Max, right? I love the Mad Max films. I didn't see the remake. I did not see the remake, but I love the first three with Mel Gibson in it, and they're very fun movies. Anyway, so I've seen a lot of Australian films. That's not all I know of Australia, okay? I've seen a lot, and I've seen other movies from Australia. There's some pretty good ones that, maybe we'll talk about some other time. But anyway, so this is what we've been drinking. Once again, this is the Jacob's Creek Classic. It's the classic. It's $5.99 is what I paid for mine, and she says it was on sale because the normal price is $10. I've seen it online for $10. I've seen it online for as much as $30, although I wouldn't pay that much for it. It's $5.49 at the TotalWine.com. And I'll give you my final review. It's got some cherry in it. It's got a little hint of plum. Didn't taste that so much after the first taste or so. Some red. There's some red fruits in it. It's got some black currant and some black fruits in it too. It's pretty full-bodied wine, very tannic. It's somewhat acidic, very dry wine, but I like it. And I like dry wines. That's just what I like. Anyway, my final review is it went pretty well, tasting with everything. It went really well with the steak, the New York strip steak. I think it would good. You know what? I think this would go good with a burger too. I would do this with a burger as well. And they say it goes good with lamb. Didn't try it with lamb, but it might. It might. Kind of not too gamey meats, but it's just some meats that are maybe a little gamey might work okay with that. I did say that I was going to try this with the puto. Let's try it with the puto now. The puto is a rice cake, and you can put a lot of things on puto. We're going to try it with the puto. This is a Filipino rice cake. This one has blueberry on it. Love puto. This is quite good. I'll try it with the wine. Oh, hey. Not bad. Not bad. It makes it a little sweeter. It makes it sweeter. And you know what? I think the blackberry kind of makes this because you mix the blackberry with the red and the black fruits in the wine, and it fits very, very well. I like that. I really do like that with the puto. So I'll go with that. Very good stuff. Oh, I'm gonna have to finish this after the wine stream. I'm gonna be taking a few more sips and finishing off this puto with it. I like that. Puto can be made with cheese toppings, and you can make it plain. Sometimes my wife makes it plain, and you just put butter on it. It's really good with butter. It's good low calorie food, and it tastes great. I love puto, and it's a low calorie. The thing is, you can gain some weight because if you're not careful, you can eat a lot of these things, and that won't help. That won't be helpful if you eat too many of them. But I do like it. Lynn Marley says it was a pleasure, Rick, and likewise, Lynn Marley. Thanks for joining us on the wine stream. I want to thank everyone for joining me on the wine stream tonight. Next week, you know what? I think given the cab here, we might go for number 2. We might go for the Shiraz. And just so you know, I've got it sitting right here, unopened. This is the Jacobs Creek Classic Shiraz. And maybe what I'll do is I'll put together a thing where we can learn about the Shiraz grape. I think that could be fun. In the meantime, I want to thank everyone for joining me on the chat tonight. And Benny's in the chat tonight. She says, hello, late again. Well, I'm glad you're here. Better late than never, right? To borrow an old adage. Benny, I'm glad you're here. And she's my sister-in-law. And a really great person, sweet person. And I want to thank everybody who's joined me on the chat tonight. I want to thank Joanne. Thank you for joining me. It was great having you here, and I hope you and your family are doing very well. Our family. We're all family. My lovely wife, Chi, who's in the chat, of course, checking up on me. She prepared this. She's such a sweet person. I love my wife. And Benny, my sister-in-law, Benny, and also on Twitch, I want to say thank you to Leo Mess I3030 for joining the chat. And Laudic, as always, Laudic, good to see you, and hope you have a great week. Captain Swiss T, and CM Sender, and Lynn Marley, and let's add me friend 1. I did not forget you, add me friend 1, of course not. And Tom Antio, thanks for joining me tonight on the wine stream. I do appreciate, once again, I do appreciate each and every one of you. And I mean that sincerely. Once again, I welcome your feedback on what to do here. And I think I'm going to probably do some things in the coming week to try to test them out. But definitely would appreciate your feedback on what we talked about earlier. In the meantime, I want you to have a great week. Please do not drink and drive. Do this in the comfort of your home, your apartment, your hotel, wherever you are. Just stay there. Call an Uber or Lyft if you have to. Just do not drink and drive. Do not text and drive. Please, that's extremely dangerous. Because I want you to have a great week. and I want you to have a safe week. So you can join me here next week, and we can all get together and drink with Rick. Good night.